I've read a number of books through the years at the library next to my home, and some I held close.
Hi, welcome back. So in today's video, I'll answer 16 questions about being a writer. Okay, so I'm going to read from the screen here, and I'm going to get my glasses and we can get started. When did you first realize that you wanted to be a writer? So I knew that I wanted to be a writer when I was in elementary school, and I'll insert a clip here about my experience with that. When I was younger, I really enjoyed writing, so I'd come home from school and write stories and draw pictures just because before completing my homework. And then as I had the opportunity to write for school purposes, I used some of my personal writing to develop stories for class, or if there was an instance where I was just sharing information with family members or friends, I read some of my poetry to them and just highlighted my writing in like a kind of fun and like hobby kind of way. And then prior to me graduating from high school, I knew that I wanted to work in the field of either business or healthcare. So those were some of the degree programs that I looked at. And then I ultimately pursued both of those degrees and certifications. So ultimately, in my current work environment, I do health writing. And prior to starting in my current work environment, my writing has continued to evolve because I have a group of peers who I communicate with, and we share our writing with one another and give one another feedback. And then my writing also continues to evolve with me reading different types of literature to gain inspiration, whether it's prose or other poetry, fiction and nonfiction, as well as like science and journalism writing. And reading and exposing myself to the different types of writing helps me understand what types of writing different audiences appreciate and how to cater my own writing style to those styles. And so writing for me is an opportunity to express how I'm feeling and share details about my life. And in the professional realm, it's the opportunity for me to share information with an audience who might not have a strong healthcare background, or even if they do have a strong healthcare background, I'm sharing information with an audience so they can understand the types of research that my institution is conducting and the information that they can use for themselves, whether they're a patient or they're sharing information with a family member. So again, my writing journey began as a hobby, just me having fun and doing writing in my downtime, and it has developed into a career for me. And a lot of times I do highlight my writing for work purposes, but I also continue to write from a freelance perspective. So I offer writing services to individuals based on the need. And I really enjoy writing, and I'm continuing to perfect my craft and learn new things about myself as a person and as a writer on a daily basis. So I just look forward to sharing the information that I have based on personal experience and continuing to grasp and learn new material from the environment around me. How long does it take you to write? So it varies with how long it takes me to write based on what I'm writing. If I'm writing a press release for work and I'm writing my first draft, it could take me between 2 to 3 hours. If I'm writing a short poem, that could take me 20 minutes to again do my initial draft, and then I'll edit from there. What is your work schedule like when you're writing? So in the professional realm with work, I work a 8-hour schedule. So I'm writing throughout the day in addition to my other tasks. If I'm writing for myself on a personal note, I could work on something over the span of a few days to a few months. What would you say is your interesting writing quirk? That's a good question. I would say my interesting writing quirk is that I write best in my bedroom and on my bed. So oftentimes they'll say, for some people, it's not super helpful for you to write within a space that you're comfortable because you might not be able to focus as well, but it's the complete opposite for me. So I focus best writing within my bedroom on my bed, or I can sit in my office chair at my desk and write within my bedroom. This one is someone for a publisher. It says, how do you get books published? So ultimately you connect with the publisher and get your book published. Where do you get your information or ideas for your books? So I'll answer in regards to writing. I get my ideas and inspiration for my writing based on what's happening within my life. If I'm writing a nonfiction piece, or I might write about family, again, a nonfiction piece. I'll also gain inspiration for writing based on current events and things that's happening within the world, and just nature and things of that nature. So I'll insert a clip here which elaborates on that. So my creativity as a writer is influenced by things that are happening around me if I'm writing a nonfiction piece, and that might consist of things within my family or my travels, different life experiences that I've had. My creativity is also influenced by current events. So I might write based on something that's happening in the news and add my own creative spin to it. My creativity is also influenced by things that I want to learn and understand more. So I might write a piece that is me just getting my thoughts out on paper, like in outline format, and that could be for a personal piece of writing, or if I'm writing for work, I'm outlining my ideas for something that I want to turn into a bigger piece. So the next question is, when did you begin writing and how old were you? From a personal standpoint, I'd say I began writing as far back as 5th grade, and from a professional standpoint, my first year of undergrad, I was 18. What do you like to do when you're not writing? When I'm not writing, I enjoy spending time with family and friends. Aside from the current times where there aren't plenty of opportunities to travel safely, I enjoy traveling. I also enjoy reading, cooking, roller skating, attending outdoor festivals, and being amongst nature. What does your family think about your writing? My family thinks that my writing is humorous, and they always want more. They're like, what's next? And I want to learn more. What was one of the most surprising things that you learned when writing? One of the most surprising things that I learned when writing is the importance of telling a meaningful story. And I think that that was surprising for me, because I've always thought as writing as just like getting your thoughts out and like writing about how you feel, which is the case, but it's also important that your writing is organized and that you're telling a story, especially if you're sharing writing with a particular audience. So if I'm sharing something related to my life in memoir format, my audience would think about why is this important and how is this different from anything I've read in the past? What makes me want to continue reading this? So it needs some organization and some structure. And in a professional realm, if I'm writing based on health information, how is this information going to be helpful to me? Is she sharing the most important details within this? And why should I care? How many pieces have you written, and what is your favorite? So not thinking of a specific number, but I have written a variety of pieces of poetry, fiction and nonfiction, beginning in my 5th grade year up until present. And what is my favorite? I would say my favorite types of writing are short stories. You can get straight to the point and share a lot of detail, and again, just making sure that it's the most relevant details. Do you have suggestions on helping someone becoming a better writer? And if so, what are they? Helping someone become a better writer. I think if you're considering being a writer, the best thing to do is just start writing, and then it's best to think about how you are as a reader. So read different types of material so you can see how information is presented and how audiences receive information, and that can really help you strengthen your writing based on the genre and the types of writing that you choose to write. What do you hear from readers about your writing, and what kinds of things do they say? Based on the writing that I have shared from a personal standpoint, again, people just appreciate the humor within my writing. They appreciate the way that I depict food and family within my writing. Do you like to create books for adults or writing for adults? I like to create writing for adults and children and a variety of audiences. What do you think makes a good story? A good story for me has a very compelling plot. So a plot that makes me think of a new idea, or a plot that makes me think of what's going to happen next. It's like similar to a good movie where you're on the edge of your seat and you're like, what's happening next? So the plot maintains your attention no matter what phase you're in within the story. As a child, what did you want to do when you grew up? As a child, I knew that I wanted to work in the business field and the healthcare fields, and I have had experiences with volunteering and working in both of those environments. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.
I've read a number of books through the years at the library next to my home.